What could be in there? What is that? Well, today, it's brisket day. So I had the chance to go down to Atlanta Grill Company yesterday for their Kamado Joe fire show, and I was talking to a couple of the guys there, and they mentioned to get a really good Texas-style brisket, Lane's barbecue brisket rub is the way to go. So this is one that's mostly salt and pepper, a couple other spices on there. So yesterday, about 18 hours ago, I coated this brisket, which you'll see how it looks when it goes on the grill, with a lot of Lane's. And I put a little bit of Dijon mustard to get it to stick, but just a very thin coat. So I didn't capture that process, but that was about 18 hours ago. So excited to see what kind of bark that leads to. All right, so we've got some lump charcoal here. We'll put this in and get the smoker started. So I did mention in the game plan, we will add some wood chunks as well, but I like starting with the lump charcoal first. So we'll get those started. I got 2 fire starters right here, and we'll let this kind of run for about 10 minutes or so. All right, so I've got a pan here filled with water and apple juice. The water is warm, so once it hits the grill, it won't get the grill temperature down, but I'll also add a little bit of Worcestershire sauce. I don't know if this will do anything. The whole purpose of this is to keep the meat moist while it's cooking, so this will add some humidity inside the grill. I'm planning on not spritzing the brisket throughout the process, so this will be where it gets some of its moisture. That might change as we see how the bark is developing, etc. All right, so got a good fire going. Notice that the smoke is a little bit thinner, so I can go ahead and start assembling the deflector shields. Put this on the lower position. Go ahead and do both of these. All right. Then we'll get this on here, so we can place our drip pan. This will both give moisture as well as collect drippings from, actually I'm gonna place like this because I put a lot of my charcoal on that side, so this more smoke is gonna be coming this side, and I'm gonna put the fattier piece of the brisket facing this way so that when that smoke hits, it has a little bit more protection from the smoke. I will go ahead and put on our grates here. As well. And now I'm going to close this and let it get up to temp. All right, so I'll be watching the smoker here for about 15 to 20 minutes or so. So I'm going to keep the bottom vent completely open, and so is the top vent, until we get to about 200, and then I'll choke this up and I'll show you what I end up on. All right, here is the brisket. A nice even distribution here. I guess I did miss a little bit right there, but that's fine. So that is the fat side, so I'll go ahead and put that on the grill direct like that. This is the fattier side of the brisket. This is the flat right here, the leaner side. We are close to about 250, so we'll go ahead and put this on and set it and forget it for about 5 hours. Oh, also, I've got my probe set up here that I'll be putting on from the start, so I don't have to open this thing ever to know what's going on the inside. All right, 12-pound brisket is on. We'll go ahead and grab the other probe here, and I'm gonna put this in the fattiest side, just about right here. We'll put that in so that we can have a sense of what's going on the inside. Please run here, close her up. All right, we'll see you in 5 hours. All right, so I got those probes set up to my iPad here that I just keep in the kitchen to keep an eye. So this is my grill temperature, 255. I'd like to really let it stay there around the 250. And then this is the brisket. Obviously just put it on 48 degrees. So this will get up to 150, 60-ish. And then we'll consider wrapping it depending on how it's going. And the grill should stay under 275, but I really want to keep it around 250. All right, so we've been at it for about 6 hours. Our temperature in the grill has fluctuated between 244 and 255, but pretty much stayed in that range. A little bit windy outside, but really not a concern at all. The brisket, when it gets to about 160-ish, it'll end up staying at 160 for a couple hours. So it's been at about 161 to 163 for 2 hours. It's called, I guess, the brisket stall, but not too worried about it. We've got time today, so I am not going to wrap it whatnot because I did open the grill quickly and it looked really good, really nice bark, really moist. So I'm not going to spritz or anything. So I'll probably check back on it at hour 7. All right, guys, so we are about 7.5 hours in. It smells amazing. The smoke coming out of here is just, delicious. So let's go ahead and pop this open and give you a look at 7.5 hours in. Always burp your grill. Leave it like that for a second, and let's go check it out. Oh, fantastic. Look at that. Let's see here. Oh, yeah, the bark's definitely formed. Oh, yeah, that looks really, really good. I'm gonna go ahead and wrap this up. The bark has gotten enough smoke, so I'm gonna wrap it up real quick and put it back on. All right, I wrapped it. I'm gonna go ahead and pop this open again. Go ahead and put it in the exact same spot, right there. Take this back, and I'm just gonna poke it kind of where I had it before. Just get a good temp there, and right back down. So the reason I got a 12-pound brisket is threefold. So one, I'm making brisket for Christmas Eve. Whole family's coming to our house and I wanted to get a practice run in. Two, at work tomorrow, we're having a chili cook-off, and I thought, hey, be a pretty cool chili if I made a brisket chili. So excited to make that. Still got to do that today. And three, to make some dinner tonight. So got the brother coming over and going to prepare some for our neighbors, actually. Our neighbor helped me put the Kamado Joe in the backyard, so might surprise him with some burnt ends. So what do you think, Lou? It's going to be delicious? He's into it. All right, guys, we are at 202 internal temp on the brisket. So I'll go ahead and open this up. I am going to wrap it one more time in foil, get rid of the probes, and then throw it into the cooler to let it hang out for about an hour and a half. All right, guys, so we've got the brisket here after 12 hours. I did notice when we wrapped it, some juices did fall out, but it looks delicious. Over here, the bark isn't as strong as it was when it went wrapped, but over here, the bark looks good. And this is the jiggle that you're looking for. This is the fat side, this is the flat over here. What's interesting about a brisket is you always want to cut steak across the grain. And the grain here is flowing this way, but then it changes on the fatty side. So I'm gonna cut it right about here, and then we'll cut this thing up and see how it goes. Man, this thing is like butter. Look at that. Got a nice smoke ring there. And then, I mean, this, if you notice, when they do competition, it should be able to hold up on its own weight like that, but should just rip off so easy, just like that. That is some competition brisket style right there. Here it is, little dinner, some potatoes, the brisket. Oh my gosh. So that'll be what is used for the chili. That's actually working over there. And time to enjoy.